I told you viewers it was coming, and it's finally here. I would like to consider this part 1 of me reacting to your guys' Super Koopa Island hot takes. As you're aware, here's how it works. Over the last 3 days, or 4 days at this point, at the time of recording this, I asked you to put your hot takes in the comments on that community post on what you think is a hot take on Super Koopa Island. I made 2 of these. One like a few months ago and one a few days ago. And I'm going to just do both so we have like at least 14 questions. So let's get started. By the way, if I mess up your username, I am very sorry. I suck at spelling. But all right, here we go. The first question comes from at ADELBeat to YouTube. Sorry if I spelled that incorrectly, but he says, Tails and Roy are probably good rejoiners and Overflow is probably one of the worst characters ever. Okay, now we're starting off with a pretty interesting one. Tails and Roy are probably good rejoiners. At the time, okay, for the first 11 eliminated contestants, there weren't a lot of good picks to bring back. And since the viewers were voting in that elimination, that rejoin, since that rejoin, the first rejoin was a viewer vote, I had no say-so, neither did Sans, but I would say, for the pick, if it came down to like Tails or Donald, I think Tails was a pretty reasonable choice to bring back. But then for the Roy rejoin, me and Sans, we were really struggling of who to bring back. We were like juggling who should be brought back. Overflow was in consideration, Donald was in consideration, Knuckles was also in consideration. Heck, even at one point we were considering Bowser, but Roy just ended up being the selection because we just thought he had potential, and plus he kind of got robbed, so we thought we should just bring him back. And Overflow being one of the worst characters, Overflow's a mixed bag for some. Some people hate him, some people don't. I personally just hate voicing him, but I do see why people like him because he is very funny. But admittedly, it just depends on how you like him, because some people say he's incredibly annoying. But one of the worst characters, I don't know how to feel about that. Like I said, I can't be biased or anything, but that's interesting. Out of all characters, I like to know, if you were watching this video, I would actually like to know why Overflow is one of the worst characters. In fact, just the worst character ever. Our next hot take comes from Coolest Mario, and his hot take was, I think up until Survivor Sans showed up, it became incredibly dumb writing. Like Donald's elimination and Shadow in the first few episodes, he was annoying. It was bringing me back to how he acted in Sonic Boom. Okay, Sans talked to me about this, and seeing that comment, I am one to admit, the first half of the seasons up until Sans came in, the first 9 episodes, weren't really the best writing. Because I was just finding my footing. Because, I've never been, one to really look into character dynamics. But after watching shows like Anatomy Insanity Invitational and Adventure Camp Season 1, the only good season of that show, I started to really consider character development and really push the boundaries of what makes a character, good, and have good writing attached to said character. I can admit, Don's elimination was bullshit, and Shadow, he was kind of off track in the first few episodes, but I feel like we steered him into a more, correct direction. But I can admit, the writing was not that good in the first few episodes. And Sans really did improve. And the ones he's written, episode 11, episode 16, episode 17 are considered some of the best episodes. And I have to admit, his writing is really good. But I will still admit, my writing has improved. Look at my episodes. Episode 10, 12, 13, 14, and even 15. The ones I've written, the ones Sans haven't written. And after, the first half of the pre-merge, I will say, my writing has improved. I still think Sans is the better writer, but I still think my writing still has improved. And hopefully, my writing gets even better when I write my episodes for at this point won't be revealed. 22, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, and the finale. Alright, our next hot take comes from Jordan Terrell LL5891. Sorry if I spelled that incorrectly. Anyways, their hot take is, hot take, Bowser Jr. is a mixed bag, because I want him to get out, but his elimination was questionable. In case of the bottom two are in an arc and needed development, so some weird things happen to justify a character getting out. Okay, yes, I know the consensus. The opinion on Bowser Jr.'s elimination is that a lot of people think it's unfair, that it was questionable, it didn't make a lot of sense, and in my defense, yes, I can understand a few things that are weird, like Mickey and SpongeBob given immunity when that was off-screen. I forgot to film that, sorry about that, but that was supposed to be shown on screen. But Bowser Jr. was planned to get out that episode either way. But you have to realize, Jr. as a character, nobody would vote him out. It would be nearly impossible to get him eliminated unless you did a rock draw or a tiebreaker challenge. And since Grape and Swerve were probably the primary targets on said team, since they were like the primary targets on the Krusty Sailors, one of them was guaranteed going to get eliminated, and Grape probably would have been eliminated if Larry did not vote for Ludwig, which initiated the tie. And since Ludwig and Larry were not going to change their votes, they had to do the tiebreaker, and that's what caused Junior to get eliminated. So it was planned from the start, but I can understand why some people didn't like it. If anybody's watching this, write down anyway you like. If you want, sorry. I suck at this sometimes. Alright, what I was going to say was, write down in the comments, how would you fix Junior's elimination if you think it's bad. Alright, our next hot take comes from Scotty Y-T7F. And his hot take is, hot take. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think Scooby getting rid of Woody is kind of a stupid idea. Since, he's not the best in challenges, but he still is a vote, for him, and at the time, not having anyone that doesn't hate him, I felt like he should have just stuck with Woody and just vote for literally anyone else, and also feel like kinda since Goofy got amnesia in episode 4, Scooby gaslit him, so if he did all of that, then you would have 4 people in his alliance, and possibly would gain majority. I don't know what that last one is, because is that supposed to be Marks? Because I think you spelled that wrong, my guy. Anyways, I get the point, but you realize in episode 8, Eggman made him do all this stuff. For Tails and Goofy, he was basically, if you don't know Scooby's arc, for the people who weren't paying attention, his arc is that Eggman was influencing Scooby on his decision making. And basically, he made him get rid of these people. Why? Because he didn't want these people in the grand plan. That's why he accepted Marks, but not Tails, not Goofy, and not Woody. If this was Scooby playing his own game, he most likely would have picked them up and got a majority alliance to take out Iggy, Lemmy, and Knuckles. But alas, that did not happen. Alright, our next hot take comes from Lollipop Sells Fork Repellent. That's a really base name, by the way, my guy. Anyways, his hot take is, hot take. Tails and Roy were wasted rejoiners at best. Also, Overflow and Heat Blast both were wasted cast slots. Bringing up Tails and Roy again, I see. Anyways, like I said, I literally had nothing to do with Tails rejoining. That was the viewers. If you want anybody to blame the viewers. Roy, like I said again, we had limited options, and a lot of people didn't really deserve to come back. It came down to Roy and Donald, but we decided Roy over Donald. And Sans, like I said, he has kind of regretted putting Roy in, but at the same time, there weren't really many options. And Overflow and Heat Blast being wasted cast slots. Okay, 2 years ago, probably they weren't the best characters to pick, but like I said, 2 years ago, I was just picking characters that I like. If I was making the cast now, I would probably cut them for other characters, so I could see your point there. Alright, our next hot take comes from Eric, is Sonic's #1 fan, and his hot take is, hot take, Sonic should win. Like I was saying to everyone, it's not confirmed who's gonna win. That's cool. You want Sonic to win, but he might not win. He might be our winner, but he might also get eliminated. It's the same thing with Iggy. A lot of people think he's going to win, and he might win, but this at the same time, he might not win. Remember, anyone can be eliminated, and anyone can win this game. All right, and our next hot take comes from Holly Mega 6043. I am so sorry if I spelled that wrong. And they said their hot take is hot take. Honestly, I think that Scooby amnesia plotline is kind of dumb. It just doesn't make sense to me, and I think it would have been better if Scooby was just manipulating and playing the game how he wants to. My guy, you do realize that is a part of their arc, right? The whole point of Scooby's arc is that he's taking influence from other people and he's trying to stray away from that. And about the amnesia thing, yes, it might not make any sense, but it will be explained later down the road. So you might want to check yourself on that. But when you see the reason why he has amnesia, then you might want to take a look back and say, oh, maybe I should not have typed this. But this is your opinion, and I respect that. And honestly, the plotline could have been better. It wasn't really that well executed from episode 1 all the way up to episode 17. It could have been better, but yeah, I didn't find my footing as a writer yet. It just could have been written a lot better in my opinion. Alright, and our next hot take comes from the Gamer Bros in Gaming. Sorry if I spelled that incorrectly. Anyways, their hot take is, hot take, Iggy will make the final 5. And once again, just like Sonic, you don't know where Iggy's gonna place. He might win, but at the same time, he might be eliminated. Remember, anybody can get eliminated. The elimination order is still undecided. The winner has been decided, but as for the elimination order, it has been undecided. Remember, anyone can win and anyone can be eliminated, but I don't blame you for thinking that. Okay, so I needed more hot takes for this video, and since I had hot takes on the original community post I did a few months ago when episode 15 came out, I decided to add them as well, just to make the video, have more hot takes instead of like 7. So our next hot take comes from some YouTube person, 4419, and their hot take is my hot take, or at least I think it is. I think the pool contestant idea is interesting, but I think the pool contestants should have been polled, and should have stayed as normal contestants. It would have gave characters like Creeper, Enderman, Toad, Froakie, and Pikachu, and others more development, even if that means nothing characters like Hulk and Batman got more screen time. But I still like a lot of the pool contestants in which they stayed as normal contestants. I see your point. A lot of people wish that the pool contestants thing never happened, but at the time, I think it was an interesting idea, and I kind of run with it. Originally, 8 of these guys were supposed to join, but Sans talked me out of it, and we just knocked it down to 4. But I see your point. They should have probably stayed as contestants, since that means most of them probably gets hardly any screen time. And plus, most of the pool contestants who joined didn't deserve it, in my opinion. But at the same time, I still think it was a somewhat interesting idea, but I see your point that you're trying to make, because if they stayed as normal contestants, we would have seen more of them, even though people like Hulk and Batman, who are admittedly joke characters, would have got more screen time. And I don't blame you for thinking that. But remember, Enderman and even Creeper were originally going to be in the game, but they were cut for other characters. But honestly, this is probably one of the best hot takes. Good job, man. Alright, and our next hot take comes from Power Hat, and his hot take is, hot take, I'm pretty late on this, but here's my hot take. Ludwig and Larry's brotherly break. Can you please specify what you're talking about? If you're saying that the Ludwig and Larry plotline is a actually good plotline, then honestly, I have to say, admittedly, it started off good, but I say towards the end it kind of fell apart. All the arc really did is Larry being resentful towards Ludwig, and then you had the whole episode 14, which made Larry become extremely hated, and then the ending, which kind of felt anticlimactic. But it could have been a lot better, if I'm being honest. That plot line really could have been so much better. But the way I read it and the way Sans kind of read it was okay. It just could have been a lot better. Alright, our next hot take comes from Caroline Salamanca, and she says, my hot take, I say this season's going with a bang. Also, is it true that Scooby has amnesia? If he does, then why hasn't he realized it yet? First of all, yes, this season will go out with a bang. And two, you realize, the logo he has, that's why he can't remember anything. It's a plot point. The reason why he can't remember or hasn't realized anything about his past yet is because of that logo. Okay, and our next hot take comes from Coops14, and their hot take is the best character is Grape, and for whatever reason, that's a hot take. Like I said, this is purely your opinion. I will say, I do like to voice Grape. He's probably one of my favorite characters to voice. That has nothing to do with my overall ranking of the characters, but it still stands. Anyways, that is just purely your opinion. Others might argue. If that's a hot take, yes, he is very, very hated, so I can see why you think that might be a hot take. But still, that's your opinion, and I respect it. And our next hot take comes from Nintendo Gamer Kid 350, and Jesus Christ, this is a long one. Alright, his hot take is, my only problem is that some characters that the characters had the chance to get out didn't get out. Like how Larry is so stubborn that he voted Ludwig no matter what, which caused my favorite character to get out. But also Tails and others are also some characters like Morton only had 3 episodes, while Grape gets 18, when the latest episode kind of wrapped up the Grape arc. Also, why didn't Junior get immunity when he technically stopped Wonder Bowser, while people like Mickey and SpongeBob do? That just makes 0 sense. Okay, first of all, the first one I do admit is admittedly kind of true, since characters like Bowser and Doll's elimination didn't get out when he should have got out. It makes sense why you would think that, because the first 9 episodes, I will admit, I'm not hiding it anymore. The first 9 episodes did not have the best writing, and when Sans came in, the writing really improved a lot. But still, I feel like I have made an effort to improve as a writer, and the writing has gotten a lot better. Next up, we have the whole Larry is so stubborn he voted Ludwig. The whole point was Larry was so stubborn, he was going to vote Ludwig no matter what. That was the whole point. And then Morton only gets 3 episodes. Yes, he was planned to make it a lot further, even episode 19, but Sans talked me out of it because he thinks Morton had nothing to offer and he should have just gone out really soon. And Grape's arc was wrapped up in episode 14. My guy, you do realize that Grape still had plot left. The Squidward and Grape arc was still unresolved, and he still needed to keep going. And yes, I can immediately see why you would think, oh, that means Squidward and Grape got plot armor. In a sense, they kind of did, but at the same time, they still need to be in the game to finish their arc. And then we have Junior didn't get immunity. Oh, yeah, okay. I will say, Mickey and SpongeBob getting immunity and not Junior. Okay, yes, the whole final battle of episode 14 should have been wrote differently. Because Junior was always planning to get out in that episode, so if we wrote that differently and nobody got immunity, then that also probably would have been bad. I guess, Junior shouldn't have been there at all. Maybe he should have just got captured or something. But I can see that is kind of BS the way he went out. So I can see your point there. And finally, our last hot take comes from LoveCatZZZZZZ. And their hot take is, hot take, I don't hate Mickey or Ludwig. My man, yeah, they used to be extremely hated at the beginning of the season, but now they're fan favorites. So, my man, that you like those characters. Let's go, my guy. And with that, Super Koopa Island's hot take video part 1 is out. If you guys want a part 2, make sure to comment down below your hot takes for Super Koopa Island, because we will no longer do a community post. And thank you to everybody who was featured in this video for typing their hot takes. Remember, if you want a part 2, type in your hot takes in the comment section of this video, and we will see you guys later.